Alright, we're about 70 seconds until live in this round 5 match 1 between 6GA and King's German Legion. A lot on the line here in this match. It's the final round of the group stage. Big victory point here would secure first place for 6GA and all but ensure that King's German Legion does not make the semifinals. But a win here for King's German Legion will put an interesting tiebreaker situation for second place here in Group 2, possibly even for first place. It's going to come down to capture points and possibly even small victory points if that's the case. So match 1 here. Match 2 will be next weekend. Yazoo will be casting that. I'll put a link to his Twitch in the description if you wanted to catch that next weekend. That would be Sunday at 2:30 p.m. Eastern, and I think that's 8:30 p.m. GMT, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe 7:30. I think 7:30 GMT. But here we go. We're live, and 6GA is starting to occupy the objective, have a squad push out. We see King's German Legion has spawned both at their main and the hard spawns available over here, which once upon a time were paradrops. Not sure why they got rid of that. If we take a look at the map quick, we'll have Hill 121. I think this is a double cap at Velmolenkirk and Hotel. We'll have to see about that. Followed by Crossroad. And that's it. So only 4 caps on this one. It's possible we could see someone win by capping out in one of these 2 matches here. Some rifle grenade smoke coming over here by First AL. And utilizing the 20mm flak on Hill 121. Gotta imagine that's gonna get dive bombed as soon as that becomes available to the allies. 6GA immediately pushing out to this factory building. They want to hold that. Definitely don't want to lose that early on, as IR9 makes their own push toward it. So you see 6GA starting to get on the flank of this IR9 squad here. Good work with the MP40 there. Risky revive here, but seems to be working out. So 6GA is going to delay this push at the very least. Let's take a look at what kind of armor we have here from KGL. Got a Sherman Firefly. That's all I'm seeing so far. Bunch of rallies down there by the truck. And a burning vehicle over here. I'm not sure if they just drove into the minefield at the edge of the map. Thinking that's probably what happened. I'm not sure what would have gotten it at this range, and it is, as you can see, very close to the edge of the map. Bit of a mistake there. See a tiny skirmish line here in the defilade from 6GA. Trying to make sure that KGL doesn't push around this flank. And we do see a vehicle. I think that's a Panzer IV. Coming up from 6GA. It is a Panzer IV, and they have support from a Panther, it looks like, behind it. We saw 6GA use their tanks very well last week, last week on Stan. Of course, there was very little the infantry could do to counter tanks in that match. We'll have to see how it works out differently now that infantry can more effectively counter armor. But they always worked in tandem with their tanks, it seemed, and were highly mobile, so we'll see how they approach that today. But a nice flank for sure at the very start. And we can see this 20 mil was taken out. I didn't hear a dive bomb come in. It could have been the Firefly hitting it. Or possibly I missed something. There are mortars. I think I hear mortars anyway. As we now hear a Stuka coming in. Oh, and almost gets the Cromwell there. I'm not sure if that Cromwell was stationary previously. It was mobile when the bomb landed. Close call there for the Cromwell. And Cromwell Firefly is going to be a tough matchup there against the Panzer IV and Panther. I think I favor the Firefly and Cromwell in that situation. And we can see a fob back here, it looks like. So I'm sure a repair crane will be coming up at some point for that Cromwell. And here we see the Panzer IV getting pretty aggressive, but they have the Panther overwatching from the rear there on that hill. Wondering if the Panther has spotted Cromwell and Firefly. Not sure if they have eyes on that. And here we see bazooka hit on the Panzer IV. So as I was saying earlier, the infantry is much more effective against armor here on the Chapter 1 maps. But he bleeds out from MG fire from the Panther. And of course there was an update recently since the last match about how armor works. Armor is now not worth as many tickets. So losing your tanks is now not so punishing in tickets, but more so punishing in that you don't have that tank anymore when you go to respawn one at your base. I'm in favor of the change, but I know there was a lot of debate about it. And we see not a lot of presence here on the actual objective. Ooh, and a nice shot. That was a Springfield. Not sure if it was scoped or if someone just prefers the bolt action here. That is indeed a marksman, it looked like. Using the power of nature to shoot through that tree. Now effectively suppressed there. You can see 6GA did have someone in this church. Probably a marksman was here. Indeed. I'm almost certain that once upon a time you could get on the roof of this church on Velmolin, but that's been since changed.
I just saw a guy coming in close from the west.
And what I think is happening here, other than spotting for the MG here, this radio man might be calling out to the forward squads where the contact will be incoming from. That's a really good strategy, something that I don't think I've seen in the ladder yet. But having someone with a radio calling out contact can be very effective shifting your defenses. And of course, spotting for the MG, as we saw the MG bipoded on the radio man. First Dale's push all but neutralized down here in the south. But IR-9 and some First Dale making some headway on the actual objective, supported by their armor as we see a shell go by. And here's Yazoo. Everyone say hi to Yazoo. Although, it might be Yazoo. I like Yazoo. Lots of open ground to cover when pushing this objective, but the armor support, if they can suppress effectively, and looks like they're doing more than just suppressing with all the dead Germans here in the trench, pushing this does become a little more feasible. Lots of good shots coming from the armor there. Let's see what 6GA's armor is up to. If they're content to just pick off infantry in the south, or if they feel the need to try to engage the KGL armor. And we see the Panther here, possibly a little hold down, but at least concealed in the bushes. But first AL has someone spotting back here. Does he have a radio? Well, I suppose don't need a radio because you can use section chat. Forgot about that. Too used to realism events where it's proximity chat only, unless you have a radio man. Not sure if there was much good in shooting at the tank there. Might have been worth trying to call it out and get a dive bomb on it or something. And of course that's not a Panther, that's a Tiger 2, King Tiger. Apologize calling that a Panther earlier. I think this King Tiger is now on a mission to kill the lone infantryman shooting at the back of their tank. Must not be happy about the scratches on their paint. But very sneaky from Uncle Biff. Oh, and he's got a bazooka. Might be able to damage the engine with 2 shots from the bazooka. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to do more than that. Well, definitely won't if he misses, but the suppression there kicking in at the wrong time for him. And what do we have over here? Just sneaking around the edge of the map, some of these guys are. He's got a carbine, so possibly looking to lay some AT mines on the main road. Not sure exactly which class he is. Could also just be FOB, or MSP hunting, I should say. So we see this 88 go down. I didn't even notice this 88 back here. Wonder if you can really have vision from here. I suppose. Yeah, I suppose you could. You probably want some infantry on the front calling targets out, but if they mark them, could be effective with that 88 there. Let's get back to the main action. As we see, KGL has all but occupied the hill now, it looks like. Just staying low, digging down some ammo. Very clumped up though. Artillery strike or even some mortars could be devastating there. But 6GA pretty effectively pushed off this objective. I don't really see that they'll be able to take it back. Not even sure if they have any spawn points really close by. Because they have a rally up here and a rally in the church. Those are the only 2 spawn points I see nearby though. And it looks like KGL got a FOB up in the factory as the Puma's checking out this flank. We can see 82nd Airborne neutralized the hill. And there is a FOB in here. Looks like someone was oh so close to blowing it up, but couldn't quite get it. They know it's here though. Surely. Now, the Puma getting close to this Firefly here. You really hope the infantry would have called that out, but apparently not, as the Puma gets 2 free hits on the Firefly, takes it out, ammo racked it. Firefly didn't even know it hit him. You'd definitely like to see some more callouts from the infantry there. No doubt they heard it coming around. It's a nice play by the Puma there. Monroe and Moore getting a nice kill, and 6GA's on this fob. I'm not sure how much that's going to matter though if they lose the objective. As we do see there's a Pioneer here trying to get over to the fob. Dude. Oh, and Satchel already planted. And oh, Baker, I guess, did not get the memo. It was called out by Yablonsky. But Baker must have felt terrible about all the kills he got. I just didn't want to live anymore. But KGL did capture the objective after all that. And just barely, it looks like. All of a sudden, everyone's dead here, except one lone soldier from 6GA. But it must have been just enough. See the Panzer IV peeking out here, feeling more confident to push up, I guess, with the Sherman Firefly down. But a lot of infantry here from KGL. This could be pretty dangerous. The US Bazooka should be able to ammo rack the Panzer IV. So you do have to be careful. And if we take a look at the map, we do see that this is a double, so Molenkirk and Hotel will be active simultaneously. If I remember correctly, the rules state that it doesn't count as a capture unless the team has captured both points. So to get another capture point in the books, KGL will have to capture both points. You can see 6GA pulling back their MSP. Now Panzer IV parking itself on the road with decent infantry support. But some good fighting here up in the north end of town. Looks like both sides are going to want to control this church. It's going to be key in holding this AA position in the north. But a nice counterattack coming in from 6GA. Looks like 6GA is going to hold on to this for the time being, at least. Just general suppressing fire there. Not really sure. Must not have seen anything, I can't imagine. Let's see here if Bowler's gonna come up on the lone rifleman left here from my R9. So he spotted him, but couldn't quite get the kill. Bowler doing work with the G43, G41. Not sure which they get on this map. You can see where 6G is clearly prioritizing their defense. The hotel building itself, which is an objective. This 3-story mansion building, which has good sight on both objectives, and of course the church, which has good sight on the northern objective. Interesting that they call this objective Molenkirk when that's the Kirk. Would have been nice if they called this. I think on some layers it is called Eastern AA. Let's see if we can see what KGL's up to here. A lot of guys moving around the north. Looks like they're definitely trying to prioritize hotel first. Probably trying to get a spawn in the rear, which they already have at least a rally. Interesting. I'm pretty sure it's officially WFT, but 3 of these 4 guys have WTF. It's kind of funny. And I guess they're just waiting for some reinforcements before moving out. Trying to get a nice strong push here. Sneaky repair crane here. So we saw Uncle Biff earlier sneaking around. I guess it was to put a repair crane, not sure where he got the supplies to do that. They must have had a Logi truck come up. I'm not sure where these guys are coming from either. Oh, there's an MSP here, not marked on the... Usually it comes up as an hourglass figure on my map, unless that's only for fobs and rallies. I guess it is. Never noticed that before. I wonder how many MSPs I've missed. I'll have to start checking the map for those. So, sneaky MSP all the way in the south there. So I can get some rallies and start pushing. This forest is a great place to attack the hotel from. There aren't a lot of good spots to push it from, but the forest is one with cover at least. And these buildings over here can be a nice launch off point to then hit the hotel. You can see it looks like KGL is trying to get some kind of presence over here, maybe just to suppress so they can push in from the forest. But not a lot of action going on right now. 68 has to start thinking they might be coming from a different direction. And we'll see what these guys on the roof start seeing, as one is looking with his binoculars. And they are spotting KGL now over on the east side. Ooh, nice shot by the sniper there. I think that was Robin Lollig.
Get down, get down.
And open right out of there with the marksman suppressing. That's a really good example of how your marksman should be playing in this game, by the way. He's not off on his own. He's supporting some of his squad. There was an MG doing a lot of damage to his squad. So he prioritizes getting that MG down, suppressing the infantry, make sure his squad can start moving out. Unfortunately, most of them died. But, you know, if there had been a medic to pick up some of these guys or something. So it's real nice to see marksman being played properly, as it so often isn't in pub matches. See, 6GA still holding the church. Great thing about the church is the vision you get. Bad thing is everyone knows that you're going to be there. And we'll see what this MG might be able to see. I'd like to see someone with binoculars spotting for this MG for sure. Oh, and I don't think you can quite traverse far enough to the right to see that squad over there. That squad looking at the church tower. Oh! Marksman gets a nice shot. Let's see who that was. So Schmidt, it looks like. And a spotter as well. So nice work there. I think that's probably have to range to about 200 there. I think if you're shooting up at the church, it's more like 300.
I gave one of them a headshot. He's on, you see the tree? The lonely tree? Left of the house?
See if we can get a look into the eyes of the marksman here.
You know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
There was one guy, 2 guys.
Oh, and now now being suppressed from a different direction.
On my mark as well to the north. Do you see my mark? He's running right. He's running right.
Yeah, see it. I'll light them up when they get in range. Well, view.
Now smoking out this tower so they can push it. Ooh,
Shit,
nice rifle grenade. And now suppression coming in. Love to see you got that rifle grenade. That's not an easy shot. Nice to see MG suppressing while the squad moves up. Good stuff there. Some suppressing fire on the church. It's going to be real tough to push this in. Frankly, just not enough smoke came in on that church tower. Got to see that M1919 suppressing a bit more. Although spotter and sniper are down, just the MG now. And another good rifle grenade comes in. I think that was an AT grenade by the sound of it. Yeah, that was definitely an AT grenade. Possibly a bazooka. Not sure where that's coming from. I thought it was over here originally. Oof. Or another nice shot with his Gewehr. Very interesting that KGL now has a fob all the way back here. Feel like very good chance you'll see an AT mine on this road somewhere if logistics makes their way over. But I guess that won't matter until they actually take out a tank, which I haven't seen yet. Other than the Puma Firefly engagement, I haven't seen much armor versus armor yet. So there is a Panzer II out now. And we saw Panzer IV, King Tiger, and Puma earlier, so either they just returned one to base, or more likely something got taken out. Must have missed that. You can see KGL is trying to get a foothold on the east side here in these buildings. But 6GA being aggressive, flushing them out. Lots of action all over the place. KGL pushing right into the church now. Now smoke coming on the church. Not sure whose that is now. Ooh. A nice grenade there from someone. Oh, is that a... I don't even know who died. I thought... Yeah, it must have been the Americans missing a leg. Not sure where that grenade came from. Grimes, maybe? What's Grimes up to? Nope, Grimes is dead. I'm not sure where that came from. That might have been a suicide or a team kill. But KGL does now hold the church. And that's going to make it much easier to take this objective over here. We do have 2 infantry hiding. That's all you have to do. if you're not being contested, which they're not. So even though 6GA holds the nice position on the house there, as long as these infantry don't expose themselves, they'll be just fine. And then it'll come down to holding the hotel. I'm interested to see if 6GA loses that, if they think it's worth pushing, or if they'd rather just focus on defending hotel. Oh, I think we're missing an armor engagement up here. Indeed we did. So the Puma gets another kill on another Firefly. So we missed that, unfortunately. Puma getting out of there as we have M18 Hellcat trying to see where that Puma went. But looks like they're not going to find it. I haven't used the Hellcat too much, but using it in general I wasn't a big fan, mostly because it has almost no anti-infantry capabilities. But using it on the flanks in these armored engagements that keep happening over here might be kind of nice. Especially with its speed. I don't remember what kind of ammunition it has. I don't think it has APDS, but if it did, that would make it a much more attractive option in my opinion. And we can see KGL harassing the next objective already. And we saw 6GA do this in their last match on Stan. I talked to one of the members afterward, and their rationale was that the next objective was up on a hill. They wanted to secure that so they wouldn't have to push up the hill, which makes a lot of sense. And that might be part of the same reason here. Obviously no hill, but a lot of open ground to cover if KGL had to attack this. If they can get a foothold in here first, then as long as they can still capture the previous objectives, it might be a real good idea. But a King Tiger just parking itself on the main road with some infantry support. Certainly going to make that difficult for KGL. At the very least, though, that's it's an entire King Tiger not on any of the active objectives. We can see here the Allies did capture Kirk, so now it's going to be all about hotel. Panzer II getting in here for infantry support. And Mo with the bazooka getting a hit on the Panzer II. Panzer II trying to nope out of there. Oh, backs into a building perhaps. Oh, and hits the fence with the second bazooka shot. And no one too close for ammo. Panzer II will probably live to fight another day. I like the idea here from 6GA, and we're seeing it from KGL too, using more specialist tanks. So we saw the M18 Hellcat from KGL, definitely a specialist tank for the armor, keeping it on the flank to try to deal with armor. We see a similar thing from 6GA with the Puma, and now the Panzer II, which is arguably only useful against infantry, is right in the thick of it on objective, trying to help with the infantry. And the more generalist King Tiger is floating around where needed. It's nice to see these more specialist vehicles doing their proper roles. Ooh, and first here makes a heroic push into the objective. actually gets inside. Where did he come from? Oh, okay. It's a nice spot here. Oh no, that was. I thought it was an MG.
You can get over some of these hedgehogs. Come here, Harper.
Really thought an
Come to the
MG
store.
killed him, but I guess it could have been a marksman. Nice shot.
Come here.
But everyone's quickly dying in this hotel. Some reinforcements now coming in. Probably like to see just someone on stair duty. Watching those stairs.
We give a machine gun.
But 6GA has lost their north flank now completely. That's definitely going to help KGL push into the objective. If we look at the tickets though, KGL down to 100 tickets. And at this stage it looks like they're definitely... Ooh! Panzer II goes down. Is that a shot from way back there? No, perhaps not. Not sure. Oh, it's probably Mo doing more work with his bazooka, if I had to guess. Nope, Mo is dead. Well, I'm not sure what got the Panzer II. Some infantry around here, but I'm not sure who had the AT capability. Either way, that'll certainly help KGL push in. But as I was saying, they're not going to be able to win on tickets, it looks like. They're going to have to just try to secure this last cap before they run out of tickets. So at least they can get 2 caps under their belt. See a dive bomb come in on an MSP perhaps. It's definitely some kind of truck. I don't think that was an MSP though. And a Stuka coming in. So KGL's gonna have a tough time getting this last objective, but they can do it. That'll be a big win, because pushing this far again for 6GA next week is gonna be a tall order, I think. This is not an easy map to push. Engagements out here far to the south. You can see a little trick here. MG's looking straight up in the air when he reloads. It makes his head go lower behind the deflate, as you can see there. So something to keep in mind when you're playing the game. You're loading that bipoded weapon, look up in the air, your head will go down. And the Hellcat was venturing further out to the east. Not sure if he was able to get anything. Ooh, but he is being chased by a Panzer IV. That's interesting. We'll see how far this Panzer IV decides to push. M18 circling around the house might get eyes on the Panzer IV if he just looks right. Might be able to see that. It was just there a second ago. Might be in the defilade right now. Oh, and there's the Panzer IV. Are they going to spot each other? Driving right across the M18 now. That's a short barrel for the Panzer IV. This be the early war variant, or that's Panzer III. Always so bad with telling the difference, but both these tanks fairly close, not quite seeing each other. Of course, I am zoomed in, and I think the driver might have spotted it as the gun goes forward. Nope, maybe not. The gun is traversing that way, but Panzer IV no longer visible. Game of cat and mouse there. We check back on the action by the objective. See, 6GA still holds the hotel, not even concerned about and an armored loss here for the King Tiger. Looks like it may have gotten stuck here. Taken out, so that'll help with tickets a little bit, but as I mentioned earlier, not as much as previously since the recent update. Of course, shortly after that update, biggest update ever in Postscriptum, or most important maybe, with SDK being announced. Everyone, I think, was happy to hear about that, and some nice mods in the work that are public, and I'm sure a whole bunch more that aren't public. Excited to see what we end up getting and what might be incorporated into the ladder in next season or the season after. Like to see some of the new theaters in the ladder. Very nice. Gammon bomb, and I do think that's a Panzer III. My apologies, calling that a Panzer IV. Oh, and I think he got killed by the shock blast from the main barrel of the tank there. As we see a Hawkins mine just dropped on the ground before it was armed. When the commander gets out, oh! Wasn't quite able, oh, they traded.
Hey, Hank needs help. Hank needs help.
The tank needs help indeed.
There's an enemy near the tank.
Oh, we missed the M18 going down at least. And now, going over to look at that, I missed the Panzer III going down. So another win, and the tickets, well, it doesn't look like KGL will be able to win on tickets. With those recent armor wins, it's a little more reasonable, but given that they have to push into a defense, not looking too good. Still 15 minutes left. You almost wonder if it's worth sitting back, not being so aggressive, and just trying to trade well. But I understand they want to get this capping before they run out of tickets. That way they'll have 2 capture points in the books. Follow some of the action here as the final tickets are filled out. See if KGL is able to secure this hotel in time.
Yeah, they're coming from there.
I'm on your cover.
Watch out, Heck Callum.
Sneaky 40 hiding in the smoke. marksman here trying to pick off Germans in the windows. KGL now down to 7 tickets. Doesn't look like they're going to be able to capture the hotel. So we'll go into week 2. Again, I'll link Yazoo's Twitch in the description. We'll go into week 2 with KGL losing round 1 with 1 captured point. So 6GA is going to either have to win the next match or capture 2 points. Or else KGL will get the victory and create a very interesting situation for the standings going into the semifinals. Just take a look at the surrounding area as we finish up here. And GG to both teams.